Hi guys, welcome back to Fundamentals of Design, a TUTS Plus premium course. I'm Kim Boltzma, and today we're going to talk about audience. Okay, so in the last lesson we covered a detailed introduction to information design and why it's important to think about content and structure. Today we're going to dive a little bit deeper and talk about audience and why it's crucial that we consider them in any project we encounter. We're going to define the audience. We're going to talk about how to conduct an analysis of them in order to create a document or a design. And then we're going to end with an assignment where you'll practice analyzing an audience for a hypothetical situation. A little forewarning here, this is another one of those content heavy presentations, so not too much on the design, but when you're analyzing audience, it's kind of hard to talk about pictures. So all right, so define audience analysis. After you've identified the purpose of your document or your website, you need to analyze the audience this document or website is going to affect. But there is never just one audience. Let's say you've been asked to plan and create a retail store that's aimed at selling products with no graphics, only words. You need to think about who is going to shop at this store and what kind of people you want to attract. So, types of audiences. First of all, who is your intended audience? The intended audience includes all of the people who will shop the store, the customers, um, secret shoppers, all sorts of people. Can you identify their needs for this retail store? Remember, this audience wants specifics, not generalities. But unfortunately, the intended audience isn't your only audience, even though they're the ones who will bring revenue to your client. So you need to consider the initial audience, the person requesting this proposal for the retail store. This person will more than likely answer to the primary audience. The primary audience is typically the decision maker or decision makers. They probably own the business. They will use the information you're providing in order to make an educated decision about what they're going to do with their company and how they will move forward. Then there's the secondary audience. This might be the board of directors or investors. These are the folks that will read your proposal. They have a vested interest because they are affected by the decisions made based on your proposal. Sometimes you're going to encounter external audiences as well. They're not part of the group who's requesting the proposal, but they are affected by your work. They might be the people building the store or even the competition. Okay, so of those 5 types of audiences, which do you think you'll encounter the most in your work? Depending on the type of work you do, you will answer differently. But regardless of how you answer, you must never underestimate the other audiences. Now that you've identified your audiences, let's analyze them. You're writing a proposal for this retail store that specializes in products, clothing, interior furnishings, etc., that are designed using only words and not graphics. Let's call the store Word. Not only do you have to create the proposal and graphics and whatnot, you must also have to consider the audience's context, their motivation, any prior knowledge or experiences they might have, their reading level, and their role in the organization. Okay, so context. Oftentimes, those who create written and graphic pieces of communication forget the kind of surrounding influences their audiences may have. For example, you probably wouldn't design a leather cover or for a manual for an automotive technician. Likewise, you wouldn't design a picture-heavy proposal for this retail store that specializes in designs with words only. You should also think of the attitude the people within this organization might have as well, and try to cater to those ideas. If they have ideas for a fun, sophisticated store, you'll need to match that context in your proposal and graphics. All right, motivation. Ask yourself what factors might contribute to your audience's resistance or acceptance of your proposal, and then try to incorporate that into your presentation. How might these factors influence how they will listen, read, view the information you're presenting? If the audience is an accepting one, you can give suggestions and then provide support in later areas. If the audience is resistant, you may have to present problems, talk about alternatives, and then lead to the solution. All of this is a matter of designing to persuade. Let's look at prior knowledge and experiences. What kind of training or education does your audience have? Should you approach your design from a practical standpoint or should it be a theoretical one? This kind of coincides with the next idea, the audience's reading level. Be careful in how you word your piece. Don't make it too easy for your audience, but don't make it too hard either. Your proposal or design or graphic should be simple enough to comprehend without oversimplifying. You can also analyze your writing using that Flesch-Kincaid formula, which is found in Microsoft Word. This tool analyzes the words you've used and then provides a grade level, like 11th grade, for example. What that means is someone who is nearing the end of high school would be able to read your material with great ease. Okay, the final thing you have to think about is the roles of the organization. Is this organization you're presenting to, do they have a hierarchical organization? What I mean by that is there a boss or bosses at the top? They've got managers in the middle, and then they've got workers at the bottom. That would be your hierarchical organization. Or is this organization more non-hierarchical? Where this is the kind of organization where everyone contributes equally to the productivity. So you have to kind of ask yourself, does everyone contribute to the decision making? All right, here's that assignment we talked about earlier. We're going to go back to our hypothetical store, Word. And what we're going to do is you're going to conduct an audience analysis. The owners have hired you to think about what audience or audiences they might be able to cater this business idea to. Your job is to give them that information. What you need to do is you need to identify the audiences. What's the intended audience? What's the initial audience, the primary audience, etc. Then you're going to need to conduct that analysis. You have to consider the context, the motivation, the role of the organization. All right, so next time we are going to talk about interaction design. From all of us here at Tuts Plus, we thank you very much for watching.